My part of my preparation for today included the use of a historic lens. You see, I love history, like love it. And part of that love comes from taking to heart the words of philosopher George Santayana, who said, and I think many of us have heard this before, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. I would submit to you today that one of the greatest lessons I've learned in examining history is the absolute necessity in uplifting the dignity of another. Dignity is defined as the intrinsic value that human beings have. I like to define it as the moment you were born into the world and the doctor smacked you on your backside, that's when you had dignity. You had value, and no one can ever take it away from you, no one. Conflict resolution expert and author of the book entitled Dignity, Dr. Donna Hicks, defines dignity as our inherent value and worth. She goes on to say that we are all born with it. At the same time, we are born vulnerable to having it injured, just like a physical injury. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not understand what dignity is or what it looks like to treat people with dignity. Dr. Hicks says we have a collective ignorance about all matters related to dignity, and because of the ignorance, even good people with good intentions can violate others without even knowing it. If ever there was someone who could speak of their dignity being violated, it was the late, great Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson. Mr. Robinson said this about dignity: the most luxurious possession, the richest treasure anybody has is his personal dignity. Some of those words strike chords with me. Possession and treasure. They speak of value and prosperity and worth. Well, we live in one of the most prosperous cities in America, the 616, Grand Rapids, Michigan, don't we? And that's something to take great pride in, isn't it? I would say so. It serves as a tool for attracting businesses and families and a workforce. But would you agree that prosperity is sometimes misunderstood? Might I suggest the following as a working definition for prosperity? It's far more than wealth. It is when all people have the opportunity and freedom to thrive. Grand Rapids has been my home now for close to 30 years. You see, back then I had a lot more hair. And it was primarily brown, too. It was full. And my mustache and my beard, it was brown, too, and didn't have all these scatterings of gray and white. But I digress. Almost 30 years ago, I came here. And I've watched our community change. I've watched it grow. I've watched our metropolitan area take on a whole new persona and become all the more attractive to business and industry, to families, to college students, and to men and women who are seeking a more abundant life. And so what I decided some time ago as a servant leader was that I would use significant social capital, influence, and energy to grow the number of people, especially those who have called the 616 home for generations, as well as their children, experience prosperity and abundance. As I look back over the years, I'm convinced that in order for more people to experience prosperity here in our beloved community, there must be a recommitment to recognizing and uplifting the dignity of all people. You see, authentic leaders recognize the critical importance of dignity. In leadership, as in life, dignity provides a firm foundation for a healthy and productive environment. A leader who exudes and respects dignity creates the pathway for a culture of trust, fostering positive relationships, and encouraging collaboration. You see, dignity and leadership, my brothers and my sisters, they go hand in hand. And when leaders treat others with dignity, they cultivate and inspire trust, which is a cornerstone of any successful team, organization, or city. I want to suggest the impact can be profound. Teams can become more collaborative, people become more engaged, and the community evolves into a more welcoming and productive space. Dignity and respect are two sides of the same coin. A dignified leader commands respect, not by authority or power, but by their conduct and their character. This respect can build a supportive and cooperative and attractive environment. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the most common misconception about dignity is that it is the same as respect. No, dignity and respect are very different. As I've mentioned, dignity is something we are born with, our inherent value and worth. We don't have to do anything to have dignity. Every human being deserves to be treated with dignity no matter what they do. Respect, on the other hand, has to be what? Earned. If I say I respect someone, she or he has done something special to deserve my admiration. I say to myself, I want to be like that person. He or she is a role model for me. And what I've witnessed in my lifetime is that leaders who uphold dignity lead by example, showing others that it's not only acceptable, but encouraged to be true to oneself. This authenticity leads to a more innovative and a more dynamic environment, unafraid to express their ideas and take risks. I'd like for you to join me in using your imagination for just one moment. I want you to imagine a city that's authentic, attractive, engaged, welcoming, and chock full of opportunities to experience prosperity. Can you see it? I can. I can see the vision. I can see it even when a bunch of others who have called the 616 home can't see it. But when I see it, the big difference is I can see living, breathing, valued individuals everywhere. I can see a place where every person's dignity is upheld. I can see a place where the familiar words of the Declaration of Independence have finally come to fruition, at least in Grand Rapids. You know the words I'm talking about. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You hear that? Truths. All men and women created equal, endowed by their Creator. Unalienable rights, in particular, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Remember, I mentioned those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it? The Declaration of Independence, this promise that was made nearly 250 years ago, still needs to be fulfilled. It clearly says all men and women. And so the question becomes, as profoundly stated by Hillel the Elder, if not now, then when? And if not us, then who? Here we are, Grand Rapids, 2025. I'm in a room full of leaders and influencers, difference makers, dreamers, and doers. So I want to leave all of us here with a challenge. How can we, as leaders, embody and uphold dignity? How can we as leaders create an even more prosperous community? First, we can recognize the inherent value of individuals. Every person in our beloved community holds unique skills, perspectives, and experiences. We got to recognize and appreciate this diversity. And we have to encourage their input and validate their contributions. They have to know that they matter. Number two, we must communicate openly. and respectfully. Clear, respectful communication, it's key. Can we commit to listening attentively, responding thoughtfully, and addressing concerns sincerely? Can we walk in the wisdom of St. James, who suggests that we ought to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger? We can be about promoting a fair and just environment. That's number 3. I'm talking about striving to create a city and a community that encourages fairness. Recognize every single person as having intrinsic value, irrespective of their role or position. 4th, we can benefit from acknowledging and learning from mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, leaders included. When we make a mistake, own it, learn from it, and use it as a stepping stone towards improvement. Number 5, we can commit to practicing empathy. Empathy is a powerful tool in leadership. It enables you and I to understand emotions, needs, and concerns, helping us to make more informed and considerate decisions that don't violate someone's dignity. Won't you join me in creating a mental image of dignified leadership? Imagine all leaders here in our beloved community who values every person, regardless of zip code, and communicates openly and promotes fairness and learns from mistakes and practices empathy. This image is not just a dream, it's a goal. It's a vision we can work towards. In the grand scheme of leadership, dignity might seem like a really small cog in a ginormous machine. But you know what? Its influence and its prioritization can be monumental. Dignity is the heart that pumps, my brothers and sisters. As mentioned, I love history. Like, love it, love it. And so allow me to go back a bit and paraphrase a historic figure by the name of Harry Truman, our country's 33rd president. He said, "Men and women make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still." He said, "Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better." Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we don't have time to stand still. There's work to be done. Let's seize the opportunity to create a more prosperous community for more people starting today right here in the 616, shall we? And while we're at it, let's make some history. Thank you.